You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
What it comes down to essentially is that financially it's not feasible for the academy, for the other charters.
We've heard about school security for public schools on the Sun Coast, but with the start of the school year just a month away, what about safety on campus for charter schools? Good evening, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. Alan Cohn has the night off. We'll have more on security for charter schools in just a moment, but first, our top stories at 7. And we begin tonight with the Sun Coast getting hit with thunderstorms. The power even shut off right here at our station just before our 5 o'clock newscast. Let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with a look at the first alert forecast.
Yeah, it never rained a drop here at the station for the most part. That was a bolt from the blue from a storm that was over Lakewood Ranch. It traveled all the way and hit us here in downtown Sarasota. We have some big storms still raging. In fact, a significant weather advisory is in effect for South Sarasota County and West and Northwest Charlotte counties until 7:15 tonight. As you see the sea breeze very active, a little piece of energy working its way down, and we have the outflow boundaries from previous storms all kind of colliding and creating these big storms. Now, still light rain now coming back over where they had up to nearly 3 inches of rainfall, but the flooding issue there has since expired. There was a flood advisory for central Manatee County. This is the cell in particular that's causing the significant weather problems with the possibility of gusts up to 40 miles an hour, heavy rainfall, and frequent lightning. Although Northport, you've had your fair share of rainfall here just in the last hour. It is going to weaken there in the next 45 minutes, half hour, 45 minutes as it heads southward now. El Jobim getting some tremendous lightning strikes all the way over to Rotunda. Not much is making it back toward the coast now. It's all associated with this upper level low, which continues to spin across South Florida and West Central Florida. Northport, the rain is still coming down near South Toledo Blade Boulevard, near Bobcat Trail, getting some heavy rainfall there, although it's lessening in between there and Sumter Boulevard. Sumter, right there near, again, looks like some heavier rainfall, and again, just near Heron Creek. Venice Gardens, a little bit of rainfall there. That's what's left of a big storm that was over central Sarasota. Not much going on near the coast. It's been fairly quiet there, but we will see this right here. You see, this is the East Coast breeze. It's working its way off to the west, and like last night, there's still that possibility of getting some pretty big isolated thunderstorms to develop. Despite the fact we've used a lot of the energy up, there'll still be enough around, I think, that will generate a few isolated evening thunderstorms, say later 9, 10 o'clock tonight. There it is, nearly 3 inches of rainfall near State Road 70 and I-75. That prompted the flood advisory. And right now, querying this area in South and Central Sarasota County, 3 inches of rain and within the last hour and a half there. So some flooding problems and concerns down in South Sarasota County with some of the water ponding on some of the roadways there. That upper level low will continue to spin off to the west. Tomorrow, get far enough away from us. I don't think we'll see the coverage that we're seeing today. And we'll have much more on that and the remnants of Beryl coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. New details tonight about the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall. The 50-year-old landmark on Sarasota's Bayfront could one day be replaced. The Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization releasing these renderings showing a new performing arts center that's expected to be built near the current Van Wezel. But according to the Van Wezel Foundation, things could look completely different once the facility is built, as these renderings are just part of the beginning planning stages. The state-of-the-art facility will seat 2,200 people and include an education center, amphitheater, improved acoustics, and new event spaces. It's unclear if the new facility will also be known as the Van Wezel.
And the name is owned by the city, okay, along with their building, because the city owns the land and the building and the naming rights. We are using Sarasota Performing Arts Center as a placeholder for now.
The Van Wezel Foundation is working closely with the Bay Sarasota project, which plans to renovate 53 acres of the bayfront. The remains of 2 alligators were recently found in a pond at Fountain Lake Condos in Bradenton. If you have any information, contact the Manatee County Sheriff's Office at 941-747-3011 or Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. A sea turtle nest was damaged last Thursday on Nokomis Beach by suspected poachers. According to Mote Marine, around 1:30 a.m., 3 individuals were digging into a nest marked with stakes. When they saw members of the Mote Marine team approaching, they filled the hole, left 1 broke egg, and then ran away. It's unclear whether they took any eggs.
Sea turtles are either threatened or endangered depending on the species or even the population segment you're dealing with. So our loggerhead sea turtles, for instance, are threatened, but they're still listed under the Endangered Species Act, and they are still protected by federal, state, and local laws or ordinances.
If you have any information, please call the FWC's Wild Alert Hotline at 888-404-FWCC. A Bradenton man will spend 5 years in federal prison for selling heroin mixed with fentanyl. 23-year-old Bobby Harper was sentenced yesterday after pleading guilty in April for distributing more than 40 grams of fentanyl. Harper was arrested in April of 2017 after a confidential informant purchased 2 ounces of the drug from Harper. After being #1 for almost a quarter of a century, the Florida towns of Waldo and Lottie are now no longer designated traffic traps by AAA. AAA's Florida Public Affairs Director tells the Gainesville Sun that they've removed the 2 cities because they've made significant improvements. They were named speed traps in 1995 following AAA's investigation that found profit, not safety, was the primary motivation for issuing tickets. In Waldo, the police department was eventually found to have been issuing speeding tickets based on quotas. Republican Senator Marco Rubio is endorsing State Representative Matt Caldwell in Florida's race for Agriculture Commissioner. It's the first endorsement that Rubio has made in a statewide primary this year. Caldwell is facing former State Representative Baxter Troutman, State Representative Denise Grimsley, and former Army officer Mike McAllister in the primary to replace outgoing Commissioner Adam Putnam. Putnam cannot run for re-election because of term limits and is instead running for governor. Thanks in part to strong Powerball and Mega Million jackpots, Florida lottery sales grew 8% to a record $6.7 billion over the past year, according to the state agency. Scratch-off tickets accounted for 69% of the record $6.7 billion over the past year, according to the state agency. The scratch game sales were up about $400 million from the prior year, with sales from draw games going up about $100 million.
We had a really great variety of games. We had a couple good jackpots last year. We had a Powerball jackpot of about $700 million, and we had a Mega Millions jackpot of $393 million. So those helped contribute to it.
Purcell anticipates that up to $1.75 billion of the money generated by the sales will be transferred to the state's Educational Enhancement Trust Fund. In a little more than a month, Suncoast students will pack up their book bags and head back to class. Sarasota and Manatee County school districts have their school security plans in place, but what about charter schools? ABC's Jess Dowdrick joins us with the answer.
A lot of school security plans throughout the state are still very fluid right now. Here on the Suncoast, some charter schools have already decided what school security plans they'll have in place for the 2018-2019 school year. But believe it or not, other schools still haven't decided.
Oh my God!
February 14th, 2018. 17 students and staff from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School are gunned down, forever changing the fate of school security for the state of Florida.
I'm tired of constantly seeing incidents like this on my TV screen.
So the state legislature passed the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas Public Safety Act, requiring each school has what the state calls safe school officers. Manatee County Schools has decided to do a mix of school resource officers and guardians. Guardians being non-instructional personnel in the schools that are trained to use a firearm. Sarasota County Schools has decided to create its own police department. But charter schools are on their own. So how are they protecting their students come August?
Essentially, our best bet would be to instigate or implement the Guardian program.
Christina Bowman is the executive director of the Sarasota Military Academy. Her school, along with 6 others in the county, have decided to go with school guardians. But that wasn't their first choice. They'd prefer school resource officers.
What it comes down to essentially is that financially it's not feasible for the academy, for the other charters. We are looking in the future for a variety of resources that are made available so that we can have an SRO on each campus.
7 charter school guardians have passed the 144-hour training portion of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office Guardian Training. Those guardians still need to pass drug tests and psychological tests.
These are people that are on the campuses already, that are non-essential personnel on the campuses. They are not teachers.
The Sheriff's Office will not identify which charter schools have opted into the Guardian program.
So I would tell anybody who sends their children to a charter school, have confidence in them. They're trained by us. I'm signing off on them to make sure they're trained properly.
That leaves 7 other charter schools in Sarasota County that need a school security plan before August. In Northport, Imagine Charter Schools' lower and upper campuses have decided to go with SROs provided by Northport PD. The Sheriff's Office says it's in negotiations with several charter schools to provide school resource deputies, but no contracts have been signed. While Sarasota Schools puts its police force together, the officers aren't being offered to charter schools. But according to the superintendent, Dr. Todd Bowden, they could be in the future. Bowden said in a statement, quote, "We are open to and plan to explore the opportunity to support charter schools with our own school resource officers for the 2021 school year. However, it's too early yet to identify what their needs will be and how we can assist our charter school partners." In Manatee County, the Sheriff's Office has had several charter schools sign up to have guardians go through their training. The first class of 20 guardians starts on July 23rd and will run for 4.5 weeks. 3 charter schools are talking to the Sheriff's Office about putting school resource deputies in their schools. There are also 2 schools in Palmetto talking with Palmetto PD about SROs, but none of these charter schools have made any commitments. Several charter schools did not respond to calls and emails from ABC7. However, the State College of Florida Collegiate School provided the following statement. SCFCS employs staff from the Department of Public Safety at State College of Florida, Manatee, Sarasota. The collegiate school will also be contracting for additional security on our campus. I talked to some charter school board members about what they would do if their guardians aren't trained and in place by the start of the school year. They told me that it's a possibility that they would hire private security firms. Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Jess, thank you. Coming up next, we'll hear from those who work at charter schools on what's being done to keep their campuses safe.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
A policeman stopped.
Yeah, it was the lady parked next to me.
I called my wife.
My dad got up in the middle of the night.
My neighbor helped me out.
I called a tow truck.
Anyone can jumpstart your car, but for free installation and $10 off Duracell Ultra car batteries, there's no one like Batteries Plus bulbs.
I'll install it myself.
I'd like you to do it.
Visit batteriesplus.com for a store near you.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, and you're struggling to pay your bills while your case is dragging on, that's where Oasis Financial comes in. Only Oasis has Oasis Express Cash that can get you from $500 to $25,000 in as little as 24 hours, faster than anyone else. There's no risk and no out-of-pocket cost.
It was so simple. I made one phone call. Oasis was able to give me the money within 24 hours.
To pay for my electric bill, my rent, and my groceries for my children.
And even if you end up losing your case, Oasis lets you keep the money. So there's absolutely no risk to you. You don't have to worry about repaying Oasis.
If I had lost my case, then I wouldn't be responsible for paying the money back. And that was a blessing.
Oasis, they killed it, man. They helped me out. They gave me my life back.
See how much money you can get before your case settles. Call Oasis Financial because life moves faster than your case. 1-800-874-8185. 1-800-874-8185.
Hello, I'm John Merce.
Rugs As Art is celebrating yet another anniversary, and I would personally like to thank each and every one of you for the many years of continuous support. All during the month of July, we're having a grand celebration. We have flooded our showroom with yellow tag specials, meaning more discounts and more savings than ever before, plus free padding. So don't miss this anniversary celebration at Rugs As Art, Sarasota's bigger and better area rug superstore.
I know it may seem like summer vacation just started for some of you kids. For parents, it may seem like it's been much longer, but we are about a month away from kids on the Suncoast returning back to school. There is a concern both the parents and students still have going back to class. What is being done about school security? We have had many discussions here at the Trapezoid about what the school's security plans in Sarasota and Manatee counties are for the 2018-2019 school year, but we have not discussed what the plans are for charter schools. Some schools have plans in place, but there are others who still don't have security plans. Now, what's the holdup, and how do the plans of charter schools who do have security plans in place differ from public schools? Here to discuss all that and more is the principal of the Sarasota Suncoast Academy, Steve Chump, and the executive director of the Sarasota Military Academy, Christina Bowman. We'll dive right into this issue right after we get a check on our first weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Good evening, everyone. Kind of a stormy day today east of I-75 after 3 p.m. this afternoon. Boy, heavy rain into Parrish, also into Ellington, down to near Lakewood Ranch. We had some big-time rain at Braden River, and also right there again at River Club Road. Some heavy rain. That's about the bullseye for the 3+ inches. Lakewood Ranch, you can see from the time lapse, we had some pretty hefty storms around 4 or 5 o'clock, and now we're starting to see some breaks in the clouds, although there is a chance we'll see some redevelopment later on tonight. You can see light rain now where it occurred earlier, where it was heavy earlier, right there near State Road 70, I-75. Terra, they even reported small pea-sized hail with some of the storms. There's a little bit more in the atmosphere than just our typical afternoon and evening storms. It's the upper level low, which is moving across the southern portion of the state right now. That has enhanced our thunderstorms this afternoon, especially east of I-75. If there was ever a thing called inland storms, you're going to see that here in a minute. Northport, some big showers and storms there are now winding down. Energy passing down near Rotunda, Placida, Cape Hayes, and also just around Inglewood. Notice these 3 bolts right here. There's no rain around. Those are bolts from the blue basically coming out of the tops of the storms here as a result of pretty big storms, up to 30 to 40,000 feet with some of these now. Port Charlotte still raining, Murdoch all the way down, as I mentioned, near Rotunda, and Punta Gorda getting some pretty big storms. Look at this here. This is the East Coast breeze, and it's moving at a fairly hefty rate, around 10 miles an hour toward the west, and it's generating a tremendous amount of rainfall near the Highlands County and also into Hardee and DeSoto counties right now. Look at this inland rain that we had. Nothing going on near the coast. Longboat Key, Anna Maria Island, all the way down into Inglewood. Things have been pretty quiet near the beaches, so if you're out there enjoying the beach, you escaped the heavy rainfall. Treacherous driving along I-75 all throughout Manatee County around 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. There's that upper level low feature continuing to spin off to the west. It's going to move on a westerly course overnight, so not as many storms around tomorrow, but there'll be plenty of moisture available, I think, for scattered showers and storms in the afternoon. And that area of green and blue over the Bahamas, that's the remnants of what was Beryl. Well, the forecast tonight, although this model not really depicting it as much, I think we'll see a little bit more scattered activity up until around 11 o'clock, maybe midnight. Then it all moves out into the Gulf. Start things off tomorrow morning, 1 or 2 lone showers along the coast, and then basically as the sea breeze develops, they'll push inland again, with heaviest rainfall in eastern portions of Manatee and Sarasota counties, and then one or two of those breaking down the sea breeze and heading back toward the coast late at night. Now we got a little bit of a change on Friday with more of a west wind, and so again looks like we'll see a chance for a few coastal showers in the morning and then inland storms in the afternoon. Big storm this far north this early in the season, a little unusual. Let's set another record here for Chris. It is still at 90-mile-an-hour winds. It's starting to transition though into an extratropical storm, and eventually it will have no longer the characteristics of a hurricane, but top winds are at 90. It continues to move a race, I should say, off to the northeast at 25 miles an hour, and the pressure at 976 millibars. Looks like it will again stay away from the U.S., so those are the kind of storms we like, the ones that are in the open waters of the Atlantic. Cool. In fact, it's cooled down to 77 degrees. It was a hot one today, 93 at the Sarasota Bradian Airport. A few degrees shy of the record, but still temperatures have cooled across most of the area as a result of the clouds and the rainfall that was around earlier. Northport, although this is I think a little old, 88 degrees, it's more than likely down to about 80 degrees there, even in the upper 70s. Right now 77 degrees, and we have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. An east wind at 9. The pressure is continuing to again rise. Winds out of the southeast turning to the southwest. Not much, 5 knots out there, so you would expect smooth conditions out on the waters, and that's what we're going to see. The extended forecast, and less of a chance will still be around, a 30% chance for scattered, mainly afternoon and evening storms. 40% chance on Friday, timing changes just a little bit, and a pretty good chance for scattered storms over the weekend. It's not going to be a washout, but there'll be storms around, and it looks like mainly in the afternoon and evening. Jacqueline will be back right after this.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
Me, pick me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, yo, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Welcome back. We're talking about the security plans for charter schools here on the Suncoast. Joining us for more is the principal of the Sarasota Suncoast Academy, Steve Crump, and the executive director of the Sarasota Military Academy, Christina Bowman. And I wanted to ask both of you this question. Christina, you can tell us first, what are your two schools at right now when it comes to school security? School starts in about a month, but where do you guys stand right now?
Well, I believe that we've had a focus for the past 5 years on school security, and we've been proactive in that manner, making sure that our hardscapes are in place. We have fencing that's in place. You have to buzz into the offices for the security. We've had plans in place, crisis plans in place as well. but also focusing on being proactive, looking at the social, emotional status of our children and making sure that our faculty and staff know how to reach out to children, know how to recognize any mental status changes with the children. And we also have moved forward in making sure that we have cameras in place on our campuses, both campuses, and those are monitored at all times as well.
Okay, and what about for you, Steve?
I think for us, we're looking at different options. I think the key is to have choices. I think the Guardian program is one of the pieces that is absolutely a choice for us. Law enforcement as well, whenever we make those choices for what's best for our school. I think for every charter school it's going to be different due to location. We also have a strong character ed program. It's an approach to teaching that we do. A lot of it's proactive. So I think that's a key component, is not necessarily reacting, but being proactive in those pieces so that some of the issues that have happened in schools around the country don't happen at the schools here in Sarasota.
Certainly. And before Parkland, Christina, what was security like at your school, and has there been a significant change in that?
I can honestly tell you the only change is moving forward with the mandate. And that making sure that in good faith effort, when our students enter our campuses, that we've made good faith effort to make sure that we've met the mandate. We are looking at a combination on our campuses. We have participated in the Guardian program as well, but we're looking at choices, as Steve alluded to as well. Not much has changed because we've had such a focus in the past on making sure that our employees and our students are safe and secure on our campuses.
All right, thank you. Well, we are just getting warmed up. Our conversation on charter school security will continue after a quick break.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer, free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Thank you.
What are you doing? You are the best protection she has. Buddy up. I'm Jill Harrington. Please visit HelpSaveTheNextGirl.com and get involved.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone.
Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
You're watching ABC7 News at 7:30.
Welcome back. We're talking about the security plans for charter schools here on the Suncoast. Joining us for more is the principal of the Sarasota Suncoast Academy, Steve Crump, and the executive director of the Sarasota Military Academy, Christina Bowman. Now, Steve, I wanted to ask you specifically, how do charter schools of these pay for these types of measures when it comes to safety? I know that's a big issue for both of your schools, but I'd like to hear what you have to say.
A lot of it comes out of our base allocation that we get from the state of Florida. For students, according to the number of students that we have. There is an allocation that's set aside for school safety. It's minimal.
Okay.
I think ours was $17,000 last year, and for next year it's $40,000. A school resource officer runs around $135,000. A school resource SRD2 runs about $62,000 to $64,000 is kind of the preliminary numbers. So you can see that's a big shortfall in what is funded from the state and the amount of money that we've been given for that.
Right, and then how do you make up that difference? Or will there be an increase in tuition fees for parents who are already possibly paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for their students?
So the greatest thing about charter schools is they're public. So it is free to go to our schools. So we can't charge tuition. We can't charge for that safety piece. How we make up for it is by cutting programs, by coming up with additional funds. There's lots of different ways. The Giving Challenge, some of those pieces allow us to free up money for safety and security. We're hoping the district will share some money with us. Again, those are some considerations that go into hardening our buildings and making sure that we have safety needs met that meet the mandate. The traditional public schools have that mandate, and so they have more resources, more money to meet those. And in the past, they have shared that capital with us to be able to, again, harden our campuses as well. So we're hoping the district will take that vote. The school board members will take care of all public school students, and that's what charter schools are. They're public school students.
Okay, and for your for those school resource officers that you said there's that huge gap in pay and the money that was given to you all, have you guys met that payment or met that amount that you will be able to give to those school resource officers, or are you still struggling to find the money for that?
So we don't have school resource officers. We haven't had those this year.
Okay.
When the district provided those for the district schools, we did not get provided those. We did have officers that came by. It's going to take, for a school our size, we have about 700 students next year, it'll take us about 4 years to get enough funds to pay for a school resource officer.
Okay. All right. And for you, with the Sarasota Military Academy, is it the same thing, similar to that?
We have the same similar problems. Okay. And again, we moved forward with the Guardian program just to make sure that we were meeting the mandate. But that also gave us time to look at some options available to us. Look at some budgeting items as well, because there is a large cost to that. But of course there's a mandate, so we will meet that mandate. But we'll, more importantly, make sure that our campuses are safe and secure.
And what was the process for you all when it came to selecting guardians?
What was the process? It is, of course, as Sheriff Knight alluded to, it could not be an instructional individual. It has to be an individual who was willing to do that, and it was, they had to come forward. We couldn't appoint anyone. They had to come forward and agree to participate in the program.
And will their training be similar to that of the training that the school district is having for the Sarasota County School District when it comes to those guardians and school resource officers, or is there a different program that you guys will be implementing?
So I can speak towards that.
Okay.
Our Guardian program is about 144 hours.
Okay.
3 weeks of that is on the gun range, and so they're getting proficient. I believe we had the ability to qualify at instructor level, so not just a new recruit level. The Guardian had to qualify at that instructor level. So I'm not sure what the district training is going to be. They're creating their own police force, and so I'm not sure who they're consulting with that, if it's with the sheriff or if it's with their own internal police director. So we can't really speak to whether or not our guardian training is even close to what they're doing, more or less.
And we've seen this kind of back and forth ping pong with the sheriff, the school district for months now. Have you guys been involved in any of that conversation, and how has the sheriff maybe responded to the charter schools, perhaps the school district? Has it been as much of a headache as it has been for both of those entities for you all?
Headache, I wouldn't say it's necessarily been a headache. We're trying to figure out what we're doing at our campuses, and so I think we're concentrating on that. We've had conversations with the district with what they're doing. They're saying that they don't have the ability to provide those for us at this point, that in the future they may, or they may not. As far as Sheriff Knight goes, he's trying to give us options. And so providing that guardian program, providing the training for that is a great option for us when it comes down to securing our campuses and making sure that safety is the utmost. If kids aren't safe, we can't educate. So security has to be our number one. And so from that standpoint, we're doing what we need to do to make sure that that takes place.
And also, when the mandate came down, Sheriff Knight reached out to the charter schools because he knew that we were not going to be invited to participate in the law enforcement office that was being created. And so we commend him for reaching out to the charter schools and coming to us to say, here are some options that are available and how can I assist? So we're very appreciative about that.
Okay, and you know, before Parkland, do you think we would be talking about school security to the extent that we are if it wouldn't have been for the large amount of lives that were lost? I mean, school security obviously still a thing before Parkland, but to the extent of the state mandating these requirements and people talking about it more than ever, do you think that would still be a topic?
I think the short answer to that is no. That, you know, before Parkland, it wasn't as much out there in the public. I can speak for schools. We've talked about security for years and years and years. And so that's been one of the big priorities for us, is to make sure that we have secure campuses. As far as everybody else talking about it, I would say since Parkland, that's been a bigger case, a bigger deal for the general public to be talking about it. I think parents are concerned about their kids, and they should be. I think teachers, administrators, I think our board of directors are very concerned about safety. And we're assuring our families that we're going to do everything that we can to make sure that our schools are as safe as possible. And in general, schools are safe places.
I think one of the major focus up here was that the students had a voice. And they came out and wanted to bring this to the attention, focus on this. But I think one main thing that's coming out of it, not only the school security, is that mental health plan. And I think that's so very important. That is an area that has been very helpful for the schools, mandating that they focus on that, they have a plan put together, and those supports are in place for every student.
Now, Christina, I wanted to ask you, you know, being a military academy, you have students who are in JROTC. We saw a student at Parkland who was a part of JROTC, giving his life to save other students. Is there some sort of mentality you talk with your students who are involved in that? What is that discussion like for them? Because many of them have that mentality of going into the military and want to help others.
Absolutely. Every student, every cadet at our academy participates in JROTC. And so it instills in them honor, leadership, integrity, citizenship, empathy for one another. And so it did not surprise me to see that young man was a JROTC individual.
Certainly. And what's the discussion with those students? Do you emphasize the, you know, having that military mindset, helping others, or in this type of active shooter situation? What's that discussion like?
It's not just the JROTC, it's the whole child, and it's being that individual. When they hear something, they say something, they reach out and help one another. They're a part of the community, and they're a part of the solution, not the problem.
All right, thank you guys so much. Well, we have to take a quick break. We'll have final thoughts when we return.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP is the largest locally owned CPAP supply company in the area. Is it time to replace your old equipment? The staff at Sarasota Oxygen and CPAP can show you the most up-to-date CPAP equipment and supplies to meet your sleep apnea needs, including portable travel devices and the SoClean automatic CPAP sanitizer. We serve all of Southwest Florida, giving the highest quality of care with the finest CPAP equipment. Please visit our website, sarasotacpap.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TruStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TruStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Our guests join us for our final thoughts. And Christina, I wanted to start with you. What are your final thoughts? What do you want viewers to know about charter schools and the protection of students?
I want them to know that we have in the past and we will continue to do everything possible to make sure that our campuses are safe and secure each and every day. And we will meet the mandates that come down upon us. No matter what the cost is, we'll find the funding to make sure that that happens. But to make sure that when our students step on campus, our parents continue to know that they are safe and secure.
And for you, Steve?
I think the biggest piece for me is, we want to provide a safe atmosphere for learning, because if kids aren't safe, they can't learn. And so it takes a village for that. It takes parents being vigilant, it takes students really having relationships so that they can see when something's not right or something's not wrong, whether that be inside of the classroom or the lunchroom, those kind of things. So I think being proactive is a key piece to that. I think another piece is we're going to do what we have to do to make sure that kids can learn in a safe environment. And again, we have lots of choices for that. And it's just a matter of gathering up what those choices look like and making the best decision for our school and for the students.
And moving forward, what's the biggest hurdle that you guys think you'll have to jump over to make this move smoothly?
I think we've already jumped over that hurdle,
okay.
And having a plan together and having those choices, being able to move forward.
And for you?
I would say it always comes down to money. Mm-hmm. Money is a big factor in providing those choices. But like Christina said, I think those hurdles have already been crossed. It's now making those choices based on what we have.
All right, thank you guys both for joining us. Well, before we go, we want to share with you what some viewers had to say about last night's show on President Trump's selection for the next Supreme Court justice. The president delivered on a campaign promise Monday night by nominating Judge Brett Kavanaugh as the next Supreme Court justice, who will likely overturn Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court decision which made abortion rights legal. We went to Facebook for your thoughts. Michael says, awesome pick. Like it or not, that's exactly why we voted for him. John says horrendous pick. Unfortunately, he will probably be confirmed after a contentious fight. The result will be the return of back alley abortions killing our young women and the end of LGBTQ rights. And Fred said if Roe v. Wade is overturned, it is because candidate Trump said he would. Voters elected Trump and he appointed a justice. Elections have consequences. Now, if you'd like to join the conversation on tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/mysuncoast.com.abc7. FYI, you can also watch past discussions on demand. They're also available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And thank you to the principal of the Sarasota Suncoast Academy, Steve Crump, and the executive director of the Sarasota Military Academy, Christina Bowman, for joining us this evening. When we come back, President Trump was in Belgium today for the NATO summit. What did he have to say about Germany? Stay with us. We have a final check on our first alert forecast.
Pretty wild afternoon along I-75 into Manatee County, all throughout it. In fact, heavy storms blew up. Now we have light rain and nothing significant right now. Light rain occurring basically west of I-75, and it continues to move out into the Gulf of Mexico. We have to watch this line right here, though. This is the East Coast breeze really starting to fire up now just east of Wauchula. That will continue to work its way toward the west later on tonight. It won't be as strong, but we'll see a few isolated cells, I think, pop up here and there as a result of just the fact that it has some outflow boundaries with it, and we still have some energy left over from the earlier showers and storms. Finally, it's come to an end in Northport. Well, you got hit hard earlier today, and that is now just some light rainfall there, and no real significant rainfall as far as heavy rain goes, but Osprey and near Palmer Ranch, some light rainfall. A couple of lightning strikes still hanging on near Placida and Rotunda, down south near Charlotte Harbor and into Punta Gorda, but for the most part, all the rough weather's over for the time being. So we'll just watch this tonight. We'll keep you up to date on mysuncoast.com, also on your weather app, so keep that available. We'll break into your weather app and let you know if anything's going to be happening as far as rough weather goes tonight. And you can see that rainfall total, all of it basically well east of the coastline, and that is what you call inland showers and storms. Although we have some light rainfall now lingering near the coast. You can see the remnants of what was Beryl really getting going there right over the central Bahamas now. And there's still a chance, it's not very good, but there's still a chance it could develop and redevelop into a tropical depression or a storm before long. And you can see that upper level low continues to kind of spin off to the west now into the Gulf of Mexico. Well, the Futurecast is calling for a few isolated showers tonight and then a few tomorrow morning near the coast. Not many. And we'll see another hot day. High temperatures near 90 with a heat index up near 100 by, say, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the main focus will be along that sea breeze front. A few showers and storms will be strong again, producing some locally heavy rainfall as it taps into some of that moisture left over from Beryl. And then we'll see a different change of timing of storms. On Friday, a little bit more of a westerly wind, a light wind at that, will keep storms focused inland areas once again on Friday. Well, there goes again, Chris, a pretty big storm, but now it's weakening as it pushes off to the northeast. And we have some deep convection developing here in the central Bahamas and east of the Bahamas right now that I said we may see that turn back into a system. Now 90-mile-an-hour winds, it's down from 105. It was a Category 2, now a Category 1, and pushing off to the northeast rather rapidly too at 25 miles an hour. And as far as the lows go tonight, we're expecting them into the mid to upper 70s across most areas. 77 degrees right now. It's 78 heat index, so that's not bad at all considering we were at 100 before the rain and clouds moved in across parts of the Suncoast. An east wind at 9 and the barometer 30.05 inches. The high today was a hot one, 93, and this morning's low was right there at 76 degrees, a little bit above average in that case. And the forecast tomorrow does call for a few scattered showers, a few storms around, heat indices up near 100 degrees from noon onward, and then we'll see some cooling showers move in some areas tomorrow, not everywhere though. Temperatures, it's hot in Kansas City, Denver, also in Minneapolis, all into the 90s there, 94 in Dallas. A bit cooler as that trough moves in over the Great Lakes. That's the same trough that's kicking, again, Chris off to the northeast. So as that trough continues to develop, it's going to push a high pressure ridge a little bit further to our south, which will allow for that westerly component to bring us those morning showers along the coast. Highs tomorrow still hot in the central U.S. Here's the satellite and radar review showing quite a bit of scattered showers, a monsoonal season in full effect there in the southwest United States, and A few showers into northern portions of Minnesota. Well, the forecast is looking like this. Beach and boating forecast tomorrow. Less than 2-foot seas out there. Pretty smooth conditions on the waters, so no concerns there as far as that goes. In the 7-day forecast, a slight chance for scattered storms. There'll be a few around at 30%. We bounced to 40% on Friday. Timing may change a little bit. A good chance for scattered storms over the weekend. Scattered, it's not going to be a washout, but we will see some pretty big storms firing up. High temperatures near 90 degrees. Jacqueline will be back right after this. Stick around.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
At Boys and Girls Clubs, it's not just about trying new things.
Tanya, come here.
Learning the right steps. 2, 3, 4. Or making contact. It's not just about exploring the future. It's about helping them build it. It's about making the connection. It's about proving every kid and teen who enters our doors has what it takes. Great futures start here.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
It's a big day in our Suncoast View family. We celebrate Linda turning 80 years young. I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, we'll toast Linda with her favorite wine. We'll have a rosé tasting from Michael's Wine Cellar. Linda loves live theater, and a Suncoast singer stops by to preview Venice Theater's Summer Cabaret Festival. Plus a new exhibit at Selby Gardens, and the chef from the Westin is in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
Checking in on primetime headlines now to the NATO summit in Belgium, where tensions are running high between President Trump and German Chancellor Angela Merkel, criticizing Germany for not paying their share of the NATO defense budget, tweeting in part, "Must pay 2% of GDP immediately, not by 2025. ABC's Molly Hunter has more from London.
The day started off with a bang. President Trump taking advantage of a photo op to rip into America's European allies.
The United States is paying far too much, and other countries are not paying enough.
And again over pastries, blasting Germany.
I think it's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia.
U.S. and NATO officials seeming to squirm.
But the strength of NATO is that despite these differences, we have always been able to unite around our core task to protect and defend each other.
Trump shot back again.
So we're supposed to protect Germany, but they're getting their energy from Russia. Explain that.
All evidence of the widening split between America's stalwart European democratic allies and the Trump administration.
NATO is as vital to us today as it ever has been.
German Chancellor Angela Merkel also reiterating her country's commitment to the alliance, saying she knows there will be different viewpoints
als die Bundesrepublik Deutschland.
And that tension promising to deliver a fiery couple of days.
We have a very, very good relationship with the Chancellor.
Icy cold right there. And Angela Merkel did respond saying she's so happy they have this opportunity to talk about the economic future. But that look right there pretty much sums up the first day of NATO. Molly Hunter, ABC News, London.
The founder of Papa John's Pizza apologizing for using a racial slur during a conference call. In a statement, John Shatner confirmed the incident took place in May. The conference call was part of a role-playing exercise for the company founder and chairman. The call was intended to prevent more controversy for Shatner after he was criticized for blaming the NFL's handling of national anthem protests for his company's poor sales. He was reportedly complaining because Colonel Sanders used the word and never faced any public backlash. A woman accused of killing another woman who looked like her has waived her right to a speedy trial. Lois Reese appeared in a Fort Myers courtroom today, but it was difficult to see her with so many people crowded around. The 56-year-old has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder in the death of Pamela Hutchinson in April. Police say Reese killed Hutchinson because they looked alike, so it would be easier to steal her identity. The state says it will seek the death penalty if she's convicted. She's due back in court in Florida on October 31st. That's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.